Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 244 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year of running. Within the first full year of running, at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that within 175 days out of the year in 2020. So me going for 1,500 miles is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles that I'll be running this year as opposed to the amount of miles I ran last year. And me going for 365 days is over a 100% increase in the amount of days I'll be running as opposed to the days I ran last year. Not to mention this year are all days in a row with no days off. If that wasn't hard enough, I've also challenged myself within that time frame to run two big major races. One of those races was breaking into the ultra marathon world, running my first ever 50K. That was a 50K trail race. I finished that on June 5th, 2021, day 156 of my journey. I got it finished in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. That was the Yankee Springs trail run, 50K trail run in Yankee Springs National State Park in Middleville, Michigan. That was actually a very, very fun race. Went through very different emotions going throughout that race. That 31 miles was definitely a roller coaster. But now we have a new race, or not a new race, but another race coming up that looking forward to and getting mentally prepared for. That is the Detroit Free Press Marathon. I will be running that in October, and I'll be doing the Motor City Challenge of that race, which entails me running the competitive 1 mile, the competitive 5K the day before the actual marathon, getting up the following day, obviously, and running the marathon. Really looking forward to that race. Like I said, that is coming up here in October. Other than that, let's kind of just talk about mileage. So for the day today, day 244, got out there yet again today and put in just over another 10K for the third day in a row. So for the day today, I put in 6.6 miles. That put me at 19.9 miles for the week, which put me at 6.6 miles for the month, because this is now a new day of the month, or this is a new month, the first day of a new month, and it is a Wednesday. So the first 2 days of this week, I also, like I said, put in the 6.6. So sitting pretty for the week, and just started the month off, but started off with a good, decent mileage. But now for the year, I am sitting at 1,119.6 miles. So that's a good chunk right there as well. Let's focus in on these monthly miles, guys. This month is September, and we're only the first day in. We got 6.6 miles. But every single month, I challenge myself to a 100-mile challenge, where I run 100 miles, and I do it in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as I start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money, as well as try to raise awareness for that fundraiser, or for that charity. So for the first 8 months of the year, we were able to raise money for 8 great charities. The 8th charity is still going on, but now we're going to talk about the 9th charity for the 9th month, the month of September. So, the month of September is Ray's Syndrome Awareness Month. So for that reason, the 100-mile challenge for September is in honor of the National Ray's Syndrome Foundation. That is who we're raising money for this month. So if you'd like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story, or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story, or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, just click on the link. It'll open up the other page. on Facebook where you're able to make your donations. I do want to tell you that all donations that get made to this fundraiser, all 100% goes directly to this cause and this fundraiser. Facebook is not taking any percentage of your donations, even though they are the middleman within this transaction. So that is something to keep in mind. But I do know times are tough. Not everyone is able to afford and just can donate. So a couple things. So a couple things. If that is the case, do not feel bad. But if you'd still like to truly help out, the next best thing you can do is to click that share button. Again, we're trying to raise awareness for these causes throughout the month, throughout these months. And this is a great cause, and we're trying to, again, raise awareness for this cause. And the best way to do it is to get as many eyes on it. So please click that share button, and not only click that share button, but as you click that share button within your post or your story or whatever, ask other people as well to click that share button. Again, we're trying to just raise awareness for these causes. Other than that, though, guys, we can quickly go over the word of the day. If I can find it and pull it up here. We've been doing a word of the day. So for today's word of the day, September 1st, it is regnant. Regnant means reigning or dominant. That is today's word of the day. Regnant. Which, you know what, we'll save that word as well. August, especially towards the end, started pulling out a lot of good word of the days. At least I thought so. So, regnant is today's word of the day. Now let's kind of get right into today's episode after this quick yawn. Excuse me. Again, everyone, especially those that are following along on the audio podcast. Just the audio version. Wondering where the pause is going and that weird noise. That's me yawning. I am tired. So today is episode 244. Let's get right into today's episode. Today's theme for today's episode is going to be Anew. And we're choosing Anew today because that is what this month is. August, I fell off a lot of my training. I've talked about it, especially throughout August, about how bad I have fallen off. And, I talked about it, especially these last few days. Yesterday was the month in review. So, and of course, I don't have it pulled up here. I apologize, guys. So yesterday was the month in review, and the day before was to refocus. Today is Anew because today is the fresh start of a new month, and all I can do is yesterday I tried to finish off the month strong. The last 2 days I tried to go really hard, finish off the month strong with some decent mileage, which I did, which was great. But, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Real tired. So I finished off the month real strong, and I knew going into this month I wanted to really start it strong. There were so many things today really telling me to, take it slow. You just did 6.6 days in a row. You don't need to do a third one. You're still not getting much sleep. You're still a little tired. Just try to rest up. Don't overdo it. And then there was that other side of me saying, what are you talking about? Just get out there. Today is a new month. It's a new you. Your body's capable of doing it. You've put in way more miles and way harder work than what you're doing now. You're just kind of falling off a little bit, and you really need to step it up. So, I kind of went with that second voice, leaned towards that a little bit more, and tried to grind it out today, which I did. Today's episode is, talking about Anew, which, again, reflecting on the month being a new month, being able to kind of do things more positively and just get things done a little bit better than I did last month. But a new thing that is happening and happened is actually kind of taking that rest throughout the month of August. Um, and I kind of noticed this even before, just running a lot. I have many people telling me I need to take days off, I need to rest, I need to do this, and I'm only going to hurt myself. I'm not going to get better, and I get it, I understand it, but I have a good method to what I'm doing. One of the things I've been doing is really, on a majority of these runs, not going super hard, just giving it a nice, easy pace, like 90%, 80 to 90% of my runs throughout the week are at an easy pace. They're not me pushing it hard. Yes, they may be more mileage, but it's not me trying to go fast. I'm trying to keep my heart rate down, just trying to get out there and get miles. So that's really helped within my training, and I haven't really worked a lot on speed work. Even the days I go fast, I don't really pay attention. I don't do any, much interval training or anything like that. I just kind of go out there and just however I feel, I just kind of go to the rhythm. And if I'm feeling good that day and I go, like I said, I go a little bit harder, I've just noticed my pace throughout this year, this year alone, just kind of shaving down the average pace of being out there. And again, noticing it, especially this month, the start of this month and the end of last month, towards those last few days, a lot of days I was putting in the 1.5 miles. I kind of got injured the week before with the long run, but I hadn't been really putting in medium miles and really testing myself. I did get a really fast 1 mile run and all that, and I kind of got down there throughout the month of August, but my low mileage kind of was worrying me, and I was kind of worried about my average pace, trying to put in, a good medium-sized mile run, the 10K. And going out there and putting in my fastest 10K the first day back on Monday. Tuesday, going a little bit slower, but still pretty fast compared to what I've normally run a 10K in. And then today, doing the same thing, just repeating it, and really not trying to go, pedal to the floor on any of these days, but just try to keep it at an easy, medium kind of pace on my body. Just feel, however my body's feeling, kind of respond to that. If it's starting to feel real tired, slow the pace up a little bit. But I'm not going to go into the breakdown of it, but I'm pretty sure my splits, there were a couple splits, were a little positive splits, but a majority of my splits, even throughout these days, have been a good negative splits where I'd split them, negative, 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 and then I'd have a positive, and then I'd have a negative, negative, positive, negative, more negatives than positive splits, which is another good thing. That when I'm out there, I'm not even trying to do or be aware of. It's just kind of falling into that rhythm, which is really great. So it's kind of interesting and fun to be at this Anew step within my running career, whatever we want to call it. Just starting this month off, seeing that my average pace, I'm shaving some decent seconds off of it for these 10K runs and everything. So that in itself is very, very interesting. But yet again, today's episode is about starting anew, because sometimes in life you have to start anew, and that was something to kind of just touch back on in general on this whole podcast and this my whole running career, or whatever we're gonna call it again. It all started by me really starting anew, and to really look at myself and look at where I was going within my life, and knowing I wanted to change it and change it in a more positive light, and try to really work towards something. So I started anew, and I started working towards running and focusing on other things that I needed to truly focus on. And it was when I started doing that and kind of had that a new look on everything, an outlook on everything, it truly started kind of attracting other aspects of my life. When I really started focusing on the discipline and the responsibility of getting out there and getting runs in and taking care of my body, trying to take care of my health, it helped in so many other aspects of my life. So really starting anew, looking at what you could have done or where you're at, and really saying, hey, it's great where I'm at. There's nothing wrong with where I'm at, but I'd like to do better. So I really have to try to start anew. And that's something that's kind of hard to do. But again, the more you do it, the more you're only going to get better. Because if you just fall into habits where you're good at something and you never are, there's really no challenge, and you don't start anew somewhere or start different with something, it's just going to get old, repetitive, and you're never going to get better. So you're never going to flourish. So that's something that I've been really trying to focus on, is to really start anew. And especially, again, in running aspects this whole month. Last month, I took away a lot from last month. There was a lot of positive that came out of last month. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still kind of just beating myself up a little bit of only putting in 110 miles for the month, especially these previous months being able to put in at least 125 miles. Was getting up to 150 there, and then I actually got up in July, the month before August here, and put in over 200 miles. So riding that high and then struggling to hit 100 miles this past month, it was very, mentally straining, I guess, is what we can go with. I apologize, guys, because yet again, as you can tell, it is late. I am very tired trying to fight sleep and get this episode in. So I'm going to just do that. We're going to kind of close today's episode out. We're talking about, again, starting anew, being anew, and really just taking everything that happened before, no matter good or bad, and kind of just put it behind you. Obviously there's things you can take away from it, but to really focus on getting back to that grind. So for your daily discipline today, it is to do that. It is to start anew. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Yes, there's so many things that happened within our past, and there's so many things that made us to who we are today. But in order to get to where we need to be tomorrow, we need to focus on today and on tomorrow. The things that we're doing today and tomorrow are going to reflect on that. So the past has got us to where we're at now, and if we want to continue to grow and continue to go farther, we're going to have to really work hard today and work for tomorrow. So start anew, guys. That is your daily discipline for the day. Figure out whatever it is that you need to start anew at. Again, me, it's to really pick up my mileage again and get back and get ready for this race that's coming up here in October. So that's where I'm starting anew at. In general, just starting a new mentality as well. Trying to really stay as positive as possible has truly, truly helped out. But that's something I've been doing over these past 2 years while working on myself. So other than that, guys, I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. This is episode 244. If you guys can, please give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on our Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on already. Other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for episode 145. And until then, peace out. Thanks.